I fear that there are too many people like Ariana Grande in the world, operating with reckless abandon, selfishness to the nth degree, with no thought whatsoever for how their actions affect other people and their relationships. And I bring this up again because Ethan Slater, her boyfriend, recently did an interview with GQ. And he defended his decision to leave his wife, his high school sweetheart, and their newborn baby in order to have sex with Ariana Grande.
Oh my
That's
God.
really blatantly what happened. They went off to film Wicked in the UK, and he fell in love on set with Ariana Grande and shamelessly destroyed his marriage. Ariana Grande is a homewrecker. I have talked about this on the show before, but I'm not done. I still have thoughts. I still have thoughts that I want to express, because this is just, you're too comfortable. You're too comfortable. You're getting way too confident with it. Ariana has now posted pictures of Ethan Slater, gone out in public with him. There is no shame. There is no thought to reputation, and no thought to how this affects his now ex-wife and their child in the future. It's just whatever makes me happy and puts a smile on Ariana Grande's face, that's what I'm going to do. And Ethan Slater has commented on how it was really difficult to get criticism about his relationship with Ariana Grande. It was really difficult. He said there were a lot of big changes in private lives that were really happening. So it's really hard to see people who don't know anything about what's happening commenting on it and speculating and then getting things wrong about the people you love.
I mean, that's just a side effect of being in the public eye.
Yeah, you're a
not to
public
mention being a public figure and choosing something that's very clearly going to set people off.
Yeah. Don't pay attention to me. I'm just going to bang one of the most famous women in the world.
But leave me alone.
But look away.
Leave Ethan Slater alone. It's just
Like, he would get that kind of attention even if he wasn't divorcing his wife and kid.
we didn't get shit wrong. We didn't get anything wrong, Ethan.
No,
we
he's-
saw what you did. It was very blatant. It was out in the open. You thought you could get away with it, and you didn't. But now I see the Ariana Grande stans have changed their tune, and they're like, wait, why is he kind of fine though? No, this man is repulsive. He is disgusting. He played SpongeBob on Broadway. Does that not say enough about this man? So SpongeBob, I'm telling you, like, this man is the spitting image of her brother, first of all. But he is the lowest T celebrity boyfriend I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I'm just asking, SpongeBob, please tell us why you were justified in abandoning your wife, who you were with since high school, and your newborn child. I'm not talking like, you know, they've been together for a decade. Like, they just had a child.
Damn.
And he got too big for his britches once a hot chick paid attention to him for the first time. And this is why they say you never give an ugly guy a chance, because they'll think they rule the world.
Do you remember earlier when we were asking you about your pregnancy, you were talking about all those fears that were kind of baseless? It actually happened here.
Oh, right.
It actually happened here.
Actually, yeah, this is the worst case scenario.
This is the worst case scenario for that lady.
You know what? I was right.
And I feel so bad for her. I also feel bad for Ariana Grande's ex-husband. She was with this guy named Dalton Gomez, and he was also not a public figure, just a normal guy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to work on their relationship, and she was like, nah, F you, I'm gonna go have sex with SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like, and now people are defending it. People were commenting saying, wow, you're really holding celebrities to standards you don't hold your own friends or family to. I would absolutely hold my friends and family to these standards, and myself.
There's another stan in the replies here. Number one, he didn't leave his child. Well, it's like you don't care at all what the baby's point of view is. What that's gonna forever.
Yeah.
You've ruined that family. That dynamic is forever changed, and not for the better.
Number two, divorces happen. It's 2024. Oh, so divorces just like happen. Like you just wake up one day and you're like, oh, divorce just happened to me. I didn't choose my divorce. My divorce just happened out of nowhere, like magic.
It's just like our wedding. It just happened. Now it's over.
Hollywood has done a lot of work in the last 20 or 30 years to tell a lot of stories about divorce and coming back from divorce and blended families and things like that. So their logic is that of somebody who's consumed a lot of media. Perhaps it happened to them in their lives, but there isn't, usually when they tell these stories, it's not about the couple trying to save their marriage. It's about the marriage is over. Now, how do I start fresh? And there's 20 or 30 years of movies like that. So there isn't really a lot of thought given to the idea of saving the marriage because you're supposed to put your own needs ahead of the relationship, according to Hollywood.
But like in a marriage, you're supposed to put the kid really before yourself. Like there is something... Like you're supposed to work on your relationship, not be miserable like the boomers did. They just stayed in they didn't work on their relationship, but they did just stay together for the kids. It's like, no, work on your relationship, make it stronger so that you can be a good example for your kid. But these celebrities, like money's not an issue for them. So if they divorce, it's like the kids' quality of life won't suffer like in terms of material things, but yeah, it's not gonna be good for their well-being.
This actually turned into a huge debate on Twitter recently. I don't know if you caught on to any of this discourse, but people were debating about whether you should put your spouse first or your child first. Actually, it was posed as a question to men. Who do you put first? Your mom, your wife, or your daughter?
Depends on the situation. Like if there's a truck cartwheeling down the road between the three of us, I would, and me and Frank have had this conversation. We were like, no, we're saving the kid. Like, obviously, like, throw me in front of the truck if you need to save that baby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in general, they're just saying as a general principle, like, which woman takes precedence in your life? And I think most of the responses I saw were saying their mom.
Well, who's going to cook for them?
Presumably their mom, I guess.
Are they Italian?
That answer surprises me.
Yeah, why?
It just surprises me. I thought the debate was supposed to be between whether it's the child or the wife, and that there's supposedly like a right answer to this question. Yeah, most of them were saying mom, which is kind of weird to me. Because once you've gotten married, you're starting your own family. I've seen Bates Motel. This doesn't end well.
Yeah, like in a life-saving situation, you go kid, but that means, I mean, this conversation has gotten so muddled because you really do need to prioritize like your sort of date night time and your couple time. Because your marriage being strong helps your children. Yeah. And really, it's all a symbiotic thing. So a big super chat there from Chris G says, you guys are still amazing. Brett, the best Minnesotan I've ever seen. Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. Mary, an amazing human. Is this a pet that's sending this? Thank you, Chris. Hi, Chrissy. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for the crisis party. Human is usually reserved for dogs when dogs talk. Yeah. Maybe he's a dog. This is, I'm so glad that I'm not married yet, so I don't have to answer this question. But I thought that they said that there's a right answer, that it's wife, child, mom. Yeah, well... That's what I was led to believe people were telling me the right answer was. And then they argued between whether it was child, wife, mom. Mom doesn't seem, in my mind, doesn't come first in any of those situations once you've gotten married. Thank you. I think it's child, wife, mom. Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cat. But then I posed the question to myself, and like, obviously, like, because I'm not married, I'm only thinking about this in theory. But when I posed it to myself, I would think I would put my husband first, then my child, then my dad. But they were not answering the same way. To bring it back to the conversation about Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater, people were basically either saying, give him a pass, like people get divorced now, so we should just accept this, which I emphatically reject. Then don't get married. Or they were blaming him, but not Ariana Grande. Right.
Like they were saying he's at fault, but she just happened to be there. And it turned into like the Garden of Eden all over again.
Yeah. Look,
Because he's the man, so he's at fault.
Look, she's a shooting star. You can't touch her. Anyone who wants, he's the astronaut that wanted to come close.
I mean, is there a world where she's not at fault, where he lied to her about being married and she wasn't married? They're not taking into account her situation at all, if that's actually how they think of it.
I'm pretty sure they were both married at the time that they met and started working together.
There's no way in a world that supposedly believes in equality where they're not both responsible for this.
Yep.
People just consider marriages and children to be like the collateral, and this is like your broken marriage and your child's future is kind of just the price for my happiness and my ability to have sex with whoever I want, which is just the height of hedonism and narcissism, which I'm not surprised by when it comes to celebrities, but it seems like a lot of normal people make excuses for this behavior, and that's why people like Ariana Grande have gotten way too confident.
Because people need Jesus.
There's just not... The reason why is because they're not getting called out and they're not getting shamed as they deserve to be.
Yeah.
There's no shame anymore.
Think about like your actual wedding vows, and it's like you're building a foundation like for the house that is the rest of your life. And you're like, no, I'll just like you're playing Jenga, and you're like, no, I'll just take one of the very core bottom pieces out, and the structure will be intact. It'll be fine. No, it's like you got to take a top piece off.
Remember, we live in a culture now that talks about the idea of starter marriages. So the actual emphasis you're putting on the seriousness of marriage is kind of laughable to a lot of people now.
Yeah, just date, just be roommates.
They don't see it that way. They don't treat it with the reverence it needs to be treated with because they don't really want to grow up.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.